If there's one manufacturer who has been amongst the most controversial in the world of video gaming, AtGames, or AtGames, definitely falls underneath that umbrella. With systems such as their Sega Genesis Flashback, Atari Flashback, and more, they deliver a system that works okay for the masses, but generally leaves the hardcore gamer leaving a little bit unfulfilled. While some of their systems may look quite nice and actually really nail the aesthetics, the overall performance is, well, lackluster at best. Sure, it connects to a modern TV, but there's generally issues with lag, compatibility, controllers, and more. During the 2018 holiday season, AtGames released a number of these Blast systems. Basically what it did is it provided an HDMI dongle loaded with a number of different ROMs. Since these were announced, we have found that all may not be as it was advertised. Pac-Man, for example, was advertised as having the actual arcade ROM in it, and as John Hancock found out, that's not exactly the case. For only $20, they weren't that expensive, but was the gaming experience worth even that? On a recent trip to a Meijer department store, I was able to pick up the Bandai Namco Flashback along with the Legends Flashback for only $10 each. And with that, I welcome you to Rock Solid Productions, where in this video, we are going to check out the AtGames Blast plug-and-play systems featuring Pac-Man and the Legends Flashback. Hello and welcome to Rock Solid Productions. My name is Gary, your host here on the channel. If you like what you see here, do me a favor, check out some of the other videos that we have here on the channel. We have over 300 videos for you to be able to check out. And if you really like what you see, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. That way each and every time we come out with new content, you are kept the most informed and up to date. So I had a chance on a recent visit to our Meijer grocery store and department store to pick up one of these each. This is the Blast plug-and-play HDMI equipped flashback system. It's basically designed to plug right into the back of your flat panel TV and give you 720p video right out of the system itself with wireless controls. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, it comes with a 6-button style controller, and the best way I can describe it is it's usable, kind of. I mean, the D-pad, think of it as the worst D-pad ever for a Sega Genesis, and it'll still be an improvement over this. This feels really floaty and imprecise. I'm not a fan. I also don't like the placement of the start button versus the rewind button. I think they should be reversed. With that out of the way, let's take a look at what we have for games. We have, of course, Pac-Man, Dig Dug, Galaga, Galaxian, Mappy, Sky Kid, Tower of Daruga, and Xevious. So we're going to start at the top. We're just going to go to Pac-Man. Alrighty, I hit the rewind button instead of start, trying to get the game going. Now, one thing I will say is that I think the graphics are a little bit on the blurry side. Also, the D-pad is not very precise. You know, I've missed a couple times trying to go up or down, or I tried to go back and it didn't register my move. I don't know if it is the controller or the fact it's 2.4 gigahertz over like a Bluetooth. But the one thing I will say is, especially for games like Pac-Man, you actually have to really plan your moves out ahead of time. So like if I want to go left here, I hit it early, you know, holding down there. Even there, I pressed up to try to go through the other passageway, and it did not work. Ooh, I can't believe I got through there. But as you can see, this is basically the NES version of Pac-Man. And, ooh, ooh, now I'm dead. Now go back to the main menu, pretty simple. Just hit the menu button, hit the C button, and then it'll take you back to the main menu. You can try something else. Let's go to Dig Dug. And again, pay close attention to the title screen, because here you can kind of see, again, it's kind of smudged. It's not as sharp as I really wish that it would be. Audio is okay. Man, I'm having an issue again with this one with pushing up on the D-pad and having it do what it's supposed to do at the right time. One of the things I always thought was fun about Dig Dug was that the music stops when your character stops. A little better, but still, the D-pad just hurt the overall performance of the game. Now, Galaga is one of my favorite arcade shooters of all time. But again, look at the title screen, how blurry the title looks. They could have done better. Again, I paid $10 for it, so I am keeping that in mind. Now, the A and B buttons do the exact same thing, and if you hold them down, it'll actually shoot automatically for you, so you don't need to be as fast on the buttons as you would normally be, like in the arcade version. But man, even these leave a little bit to be desired. They're just not as responsive. And again, it could be the frequency, it could be just the D-pad itself or the buttons. Alright, got the ship captured. That's always one of the big strategies to this. Get your fighter captured, that way you can go ahead and basically have twin barrel shooting here in a little bit. But do not shoot your ship. There we go. We'll try one more stage on this. Now, one thing I will say too is capturing the video for this has been a royal pain. My Elgato, I had to actually run it through Streamlabs to be able to capture. I couldn't get the regular Streamlabs to capture. And my EasyCap 284 did not want to capture it either. So there's Galaga for you. We'll go to the menu, go back. Now, you can do save states on this if you would like. Most of these they're pretty quick to play. We're going to try Sky Kid next, and we're going to play as Baron. Did it again. I hit the damn rewind button instead of start. Now, one thing I want to point out here, look to the far right of the screen, kind of straight up from where my tail was. There is a red dot on the screen. I don't know why that's there. So basically, if you go from where the number 1 is, go straight to the right, you can see that red dot, that kind of artifact that's there that really shouldn't be. This reminds me really of an Atari 2600 game. And here you can see you can either save, load, or quit if you would like. We're going to quit. We're going to go back up one more to Mappy. Now again, this is the NES version of the game. I've never been a huge fan of Mappy. And quite honestly, I don't 100% understand the game, as it were. So I guess you're a police mouse that's trying to, or cat or something, that you're trying to catch all these enemies. And if you touch one, you die. Galaxian, think of Galaxian as Galaga as Space Invaders, is the best way that I can describe this. But here again, you can really see the characters, how blurry they are on screen. The button responsiveness, at least on the A button, not great. I mean, I'm hitting buttons and it's missing button presses. So there I hit like 4 or 5 times before it shot. Now, you know, that may be the game itself. I'm not a huge Galaxian player, as I die there. Probably the worst game on here is going to be Tower of Daruga, and it's just bad. I don't understand it. I'm not a fan of the game, but it's one of those where from when you press the button to when the character takes action, you could almost time it with a stopwatch. So I'm going to press the A button. So, again, this is one of those where you just have to kind of plan your move. You have to get through the maze to get a key. Not a fan of the original, so... but probably next to Pac-Man, the best game on here, Xevious. I would almost say perhaps the best game on here is Xevious. Great game for the NES. And again, even though it's a 6-button controller, you're really only needing 2 buttons, A and B. Music seems a little bit off, and again, it just has that smudgy sort of look to the graphics. But, I mean, overall, this is not a bad version of Xevious. There are better versions out there, I will be honest with you. But again, I paid $10 for this, and we died. So that's going to take care of the games on the Pac-Man Flashback. Now we're going to load up the Legends Flashback, because those are more based around the Atari 2600. Let's check it out. Now the Legends Flashback, same controller like we showed you in the unboxing. These are primarily Atari 2600 games, so you're pretty much just going to use the A button. But one thing I do want to point out to you guys here too, if you go down to like Escape It, Frontline, if you hit the menu button, it gives you information that multiplayer games support gameplay for more than one player. You can purchase a secondary controller from them at blast.atgames.net if you want to. Yeah, I don't know that you'd want to. We're going to start with Space Invaders on here. And again, you can see this is pretty much the lock, stock, and barrel Atari 2600 version of Space Invaders. Now, one thing on this pack is the fact, like I mentioned, this is mostly Atari 2600 titles that are on here. If you're not a big fan of the Atari 2600, you're going to be, kind of like me, a little bit disappointed in this one. Because the games do move a little bit slower, I don't know that the lag and latency on the controller is going to be as noticeable or as important. So there you have Space Invaders. Same type of thing. Menu C takes you back to the main menu. Burger Time, perhaps the worst version of Burger Time ever. Now when this game loads, it just starts. There's no menu screen, there's no start, there's no nothing. You are just playing Burger Time as Peter Pepper. Oh, that's weak sauce. So he had just gotten up there, and if he touches me at all, I die. See, now there I went to hit, I pressed left by the French fry to hit him with salt, and when I hit the button to hit him with salt, it turned him to the right. We'll get one burger patty put together here before we move on. There you go. Burning Rubber reminds me a lot of like Bump and Jump. Again, just like Burger Time, you don't have any kind of menu screen. You are playing as soon as you start the game here. If you press up, you go faster, down slows you down. You need to kind of watch out for the skull and crossbones and for the other vehicles out there. And when you get the alert like that, you need to go wide, so that way you can try to jump there. I just missed it. I should get another shot here. Yeah, I did it too early. We're doing it one more time before we go back to the main menu. Hopefully we don't have any issues. Oh, we got run into the wall. Down to my last life. Or now I'm down to my last life. Yeah, I didn't quite time that one right. Now, this next game, Escape It, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing on this one. I have not been able to figure this out. Okay, it's a maze. Great, so I go over here, now I'm stuck again. All right, so my thing is, where am I trying to escape to? I don't get this game. That's one I just don't understand. And I did have an Atari 2600 when I was a kid. Frontline, this is almost like a G.I. Joe type of game. What I like about this game is the fact that you can actually shoot at a diagonal versus just straight up and down. But your guy doesn't like actually have a gun. He just holds his hand out in front of him. Ooh, I got him. I don't know what happened there. That's weird. Unless this, you know what? I hit the C button, seeing what the other buttons did. Looks like C is a hard reset. Got him. Now I was stuck on that tree. I don't know if it's showing up on the capture side, but when my guy moves fast, I get a little bit of blurring and streaking in the white around like his feet and stuff. Yeah, this is not good. Jungle Hunt, poor man's pitfall. So really here you're just timing your jumps. And now you have an alligator scene where you have to try to get away from all the alligators and dive back up to the top. I mean, these were the Atari 2600 games. I mean, they just weren't great. We'll go to Strip Off. Strip Off is kind of like a Breakout or Arachnoid. Although this one says 2009, so this is a pretty recent game. It's kind of interesting to see a 2009. So what I've found with this is it's better, at least for me, to stay on the one side, because as the aliens come and grab the pieces, you don't have always the time to get back to the other side to shoot them. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Space Invaders. Dang it. Kind of clever. Next up is Space Raid. This reminded me of Zaxxon from the box art, but the way it plays, ooh, it's no Zaxxon. Interesting that up is down and down is up like a traditional airplane flight stick. I mean, the controls are just not very good. At least I don't think they are. I have no idea what in the world that thing is. Nah, we're done with that one because it's just the play control on these are so bad. Shield Shifter. This is a unique kind of Breakout sort of game. I actually like this one. And this one was made in 2013. So much like Breakout, you got to shoot through the shields. This one you actually have to get the dude up top. But if you notice the little red dot that just fell down on the right-hand side of the screen, if I hit those while I'm trying to avoid his shots from up top, I die. Or if you just get shot, you die. Ooh, thought I may have had him there. Got him. That one's not bad. It's not bad. Polaris, I remember playing a version of this in the arcades. Think of like Battlezone, but with submarines. It's actually pretty decent. Unless you hit the bottom of the floor right there like I just did. All right, so he blew up the other submarine. Now we gotta try to shoot the planes. Oh, a little bit early there. Oh, they dropped a mine. I was right near the surface. And that's a torpedo coming from that F-15 or whatever that is. Got him. Now from this top-down view, you basically have to race your way to the next level. And while you can shoot, there's nothing really to shoot. Yeah, I stink at this game. It's actually fun. That's actually one of them I do, like I say, remember playing in the arcade. Miss It. This game where it perfectly kind of underscores when you have bad controls, because you're just going to see colored dots come flying in there and you just have to try to miss them. And if you have a little bit of lag, you get hit just like that. Final one that we have on here is Lock and Chase, and this is kind of a Pac-Man clone. I've always kind of thought of Lock and Chase. So as such, you may run into a lot of the same issues where, you know, wanting to move quickly in a direction you really can't. You have to plan your move out ahead of time. There's a classic Atari 2600 sound effect right there, I'll tell you that. Yeah, I tried a couple times just to go through to the other pass and I couldn't get through there. Yeah, you just have to plan ahead of time. I mean, they're not terrific. They're just not. I've, again, just never been a huge Atari 2600 fan, even as someone that it was my first home video game system. But man, the NES was so much better. Let's take our final look at this and see what we think. So what do I think about the AtGames Blast HDMI dongles? Well, I really do like the concept. It's a plug and play. Think of it almost like a Roku streaming stick for retro video games. The concept is great. The execution, however, not so much. A lot of lag and latency in the controller, specifically in the D-pad. Made games like Lock and Chase, made games like Pac-Man, your title game, practically unplayable just because of the lag and latency in the controller. I can get over the fact that those were the NES ROMs on this. I don't like it, but I can get over it. And I can get over the fact that this particular group of games, not for me. That's okay. There are some people, Metal Jesus Rocks, perfect example. He loves the Atari 2600. I've never been a huge fan of it. There are very few Atari 2600 games I like. But the Pac-Man one, there are games on here, half of the library. It's like, yes, I'd like to play these. Yes, I'd like to have them here in my physical NES collection. And they're just missing that something between blurry graphics, just okay sound, and terrible controls. Even at $10 each, this is a pass for me. But let me know what you think down in the comments. Now, one thing I will say, be nice. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you want to do there. Just be nice. Please, thank you. Because I know a lot of people are not fans of AtGames due to things that they've done in the past, due to what they've done with these systems themselves. Let me know if you do have any comments or questions down below in the comment section. If you do have any additional comments or questions, as always, feel free to email me at rocksolidmail@gmail.com. You can hit me up on Twitter at RockSolidStudios. We're now on the Instagram. That's when your grandmother is instantly there, right? No, we are on the Instagram at instagram.com/RockSolidProductionsGK. And then we've always got the conversation going over on our Facebook page at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions. If you want to help support the future of Rock Solid Productions and get early access to all of our videos, exclusive one-on-ones with me, and a whole lot more, do me a favor, head on over to our Patreon page, just like all these people that you see here. For as little as $1 a month, $12 a year, you can help support the future of Rock Solid Productions, and everything that we do goes right back into the channel, like we're now filming with our DSLR camera. Thank you to those of you who have supported us in our efforts up to then. Thank you to all of you who have supported us through your efforts to make the channel even better up to this point in time. It's only going to get better moving forward still. Now, if you do want to pick up a really good clone console, do me a favor. Head on over and see my friend Ryan at CastlemaniaGames.com. He has a ton of different systems. He has some great clone systems up there, including the Retron 77, if you do like the Atari 2600 style games. He does have a lot of the systems that will play NES games too, so if you want to play the NES version of Pac-Man and you want to play it 720p with really good controls, he's got options up there too. On items $20 and up on the website, you do get free shipping and handling in the lower 48 states, and if you use promo code ROX10, you'll actually save 10% on most items on the website too. And finally, like I said at the beginning of this video, if you like what you see here, if you want to see more, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. That way each and every time we do come out with new content, you are kept the most up to date. These guys here, quite honestly, they were only 10 bucks. I'm not going to return them. Patreon followers, as a thank you to you, during the month of February, everyone who is subscribed to Patreon, we're going to enter your name into a hat. We're going to pick 2 of you. One of you will get the Pac-Man version. One of you will get the Flashback Legends edition. Maybe you'll like it better than I did. It's something at least I can give a little bit back to those who help support us here. I am Gary. This has been Rock Solid Productions and our look at the AtGames Blast plug-and-play HDMI systems. Yeah, probably should pass on them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.